The only question. And by the end of this they told you Klay Thompson dodged a bullet. They lied. Klay Thompson didn't dodge a bullet. Klay Thompson handed Megan Thee Stallion the gun, walked Megan Thee Stallion onto the range, paid for the targets, and then snitched to the Daily Mail the second Megan Thee Stallion missed. Sit with that for 1 second before you scroll. Because everybody is laughing at Megan Thee Stallion for being too ghetto and too loud, and not one so-called expert is asking the only question that matters tonight. Why is a man who has been a professional NBA player since 2011, a man who has played in front of the loudest arenas on planet Earth, a man whose entire personality brand is soft-spoken introvert, suddenly running to a British tabloid through an insider to tell the whole internet that the woman he was just publicly courting talks too loud and acts too ghetto?
Why?
That is the question. That is video. You're going to understand that Megan Thee Stallion did not get exposed in this Daily Mail piece. Klay Thompson got exposed. Megan Thee Stallion got set up. And the people clapping the loudest right now are about to feel real stupid. Hey y'all, listen. Pull up a chair.
Pour the tea.
Because tonight we are going deep into this Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion situation, and I promise you nobody on YouTube, nobody on TikTok has connected the dots the way we are about to connect them right now. We're going to talk about what the Daily Mail actually said, what the Daily Mail did not say, who benefits from this leak, who paid for this leak, and who is being thrown in the wood chipper to protect a man whose own teammates apparently call awkward in private. By the end, you're going to see that this entire breakup story is not a breakup story at all. It is a reputation rescue mission, and Megan Thee Stallion is the speed bump. Let's get into it. So here is the official version, the version they want you to swallow without chewing. The Daily Mail runs a long piece. The piece quotes a source close to Klay Thompson. That source claims, paraphrasing only slightly, that Klay Thompson found Megan Thee Stallion too loud, too ghetto, too ratchet. The source claims Klay Thompson was, quote, over the ghetto-ness. The source claims Klay Thompson, who is described as introverted and even awkward at times, could not handle Megan Thee Stallion's entourage, could not handle Megan Thee Stallion's security detail, could not handle Megan Thee Stallion's glam team of LGBT stylists and assistants, and most spicy of all, could not handle the fact that Megan Thee Stallion allegedly would not stop talking about Tory Lanez. The source says Klay Thompson once said Megan Thee Stallion, quote, would not shut up about Lanez. The source says Megan Thee Stallion was paranoid, that Megan Thee Stallion felt people were out to get Megan Thee Stallion, that Megan Thee Stallion needed security, even in remote places. And then the kicker. The source says Klay Thompson tried. Klay Thompson really tried to do it for Megan Thee Stallion, but in the end it was just annoying. Annoying. That's the word. Annoying.
Okay. Cool.
Now let me ask the question the Daily Mail did not ask, that TMZ did not ask, that none of these other commentators sliding into the comments calling Megan Thee Stallion ratchet are asking. Who is the source? Because every single quote in that article is wrapped in the same packaging. An insider said. A friend revealed. A person close to Klay Thompson. When you read the Daily Mail piece line by line, slowly, like a contract, you start to notice something. Every wound is being inflicted on Megan Thee Stallion. Every halo is being polished on Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is introverted. Klay Thompson is to himself in private. Klay Thompson tried. Klay Thompson is the gentle, misunderstood NBA bachelor who briefly slummed it with a Houston rapper and learned a valuable lesson. That is not journalism. That is public relations. That is a press release wearing a journalism costume. Pulled up the receipts, baby. Klay Thompson did not call the Daily Mail himself, allegedly. Klay Thompson does not have to. That is what a publicist is for. That is what a source close to is for. The phrase source close to is the most load-bearing phrase in the entire celebrity gossip industry, and you need to write that down. When you see source close to, 9 times out of 10, you are reading something the subject of the article personally approved. Megan Thee Stallion did not get exposed by an enemy. Megan Thee Stallion got exposed by the man Megan Thee Stallion was sleeping next to. And the only reason a man releases a story like this through a back channel after a breakup is because he needs the public to side with him before the woman tells her version. This is the front-running play. This is the get ahead of the narrative play. This is the same play every powerful man runs when he knows the next story coming is not going to be flattering. Now let me show you something other commentators completely missed. The Daily Mail piece does not just trash Megan Thee Stallion. It also quietly rehabilitates Klay Thompson. Look at the adjectives. Introverted. Awkward at times. Private. Not a big poster. Tried for her. Read those words again. Those are not random words. Those are the exact words a 35-year-old NBA veteran would want in the public bloodstream right before free agency conversations, right before brand deals, right before another season, right before the next woman. Klay Thompson is not just dumping Megan Thee Stallion. Klay Thompson is rebranding. Klay Thompson is telling corporate America, I am the quiet one. I am the safe one. I am not the rapper's boyfriend anymore. Put me back on the Wheaties box. Megan Thee Stallion is the sacrifice on the altar of that rebrand. And here is where it gets ugly, because this is the part nobody wants to say out loud. The word ghetto is not neutral. It is a loaded weapon, and when you point that weapon at a black woman from Houston, you are not making a personality observation. You are making a class attack. You are making a color attack. You are making a respectability attack. And the people clapping in the comments saying, Klay was right, she is ghetto, are doing the exact work the leak was designed to make you do. The leak is not asking you to evaluate a relationship. It is asking you to evaluate a woman's worth. The leak is asking you to decide that Megan Thee Stallion, a multi-platinum, Grammy-winning, Rock Nation-managed, Houston-bred superstar, is somehow beneath an NBA player who has spent the last 3 seasons getting traded, getting benched, and getting his jersey forgotten. Klay Thompson is not above Megan Thee Stallion. Klay Thompson is, at best, on the same block. And somewhere, somebody in Klay Thompson's camp knows that, and that is why this leak smells the way it smells. Now pause.
Pause right here.
Because I need to say something to the men and the women in the audience at the same time. There is nothing wrong with being loud. There is nothing wrong with being expressive. There is nothing wrong with security when somebody literally shot you in the foot. Megan Thee Stallion is loud because Megan Thee Stallion survived. Megan Thee Stallion needs security because somebody, a real human being with a real firearm, put real bullets in Megan Thee Stallion's body. So when this so-called insider says Megan Thee Stallion was paranoid and felt like people were out to get her, let me translate that quote out of PR speak and into English. The translation is, Megan Thee Stallion was traumatized, and Klay Thompson did not have the emotional bandwidth to date a woman with trauma. That is the real story. That is the only honest sentence in the entire Daily Mail piece. Klay Thompson did not break up with Megan Thee Stallion because Megan Thee Stallion was ghetto. Klay Thompson broke up with Megan Thee Stallion because dating a survivor is hard work, and Klay Thompson did not want to do the work. But that sentence does not sell papers. That sentence does not protect a 35-year-old basketball player's bachelor brand. So instead of saying, I am not strong enough to love a woman who has been through what Megan Thee Stallion has been through, the camp says she's too loud, she's too ghetto, she would not shut up about Tory Lanez. And the internet, the bloodthirsty, dopamine-rotted internet, takes that sentence and runs a marathon with it. Because it is easier to laugh at a black woman than it is to admit that a black woman was abandoned by a man who could not carry the weight of her healing. Now let's talk about the Tory Lanez detail, because that detail is the most surgical part of this entire leak, and I need you to understand why. The insider says Megan Thee Stallion would not shut up about Lanez. Why drop that specific name in a breakup article? Tory Lanez has nothing to do with Klay Thompson. Tory Lanez has nothing to do with the Warriors. Tory Lanez has nothing to do with whether Klay Thompson found Megan Thee Stallion annoying at brunch. So why is Tory Lanez in this article? Because there is an entire underground ecosystem of people online who still, to this day, believe Tory Lanez did not do what Tory Lanez was convicted of doing. There is a corner of Black Twitter, an entire faction of podcasters and gossip channels, convinced Megan Thee Stallion lied. By slipping the name Lanez into a breakup article, the camp is winking at that audience. The camp is saying, even Klay Thompson got tired of hearing about it. The camp is dog whistling to the Megan doubters. The camp is harvesting that audience's clicks, outrage, and loyalty. That is not an accident. That is a marketing decision. And it worked. Look at the comments. The Lanez doubters are doing victory laps. And meanwhile, Megan Thee Stallion, the actual victim of the actual shooting, is once again on trial in public opinion for the crime of surviving. Y'all see what I'm saying? You see how the leak is not just about Megan Thee Stallion's voice. The leak is about reopening a wound. The leak is about putting Megan Thee Stallion's credibility back on the auction block. The leak is doing PR for one man by laundering doubt about another man. That is three-dimensional chess. And the Daily Mail printed it like it was a horoscope. Okay, breathe. Breathe with me. Let's pivot. Because I have not even gotten to the entourage part yet, and the entourage part is where the leak actually shows its hand. The insider complained that Megan Thee Stallion always had security around. The insider complained that Megan Thee Stallion always had her LGBT glam team around. The insider complained about the stylists, the makeup artists, the assistants. Now listen carefully. That is not a complaint about Megan Thee Stallion. That is a complaint about the entire infrastructure of being a black female superstar in 2026. Every A-list black woman in entertainment travels with a glam team. Beyoncé does. Rihanna does. Cardi B does. SZA does. Doja Cat does. That is not a Megan Thee Stallion problem. That is the job. The hair, the lashes, the wardrobe, the security, the assistant who keeps the schedule, the friend who keeps the spirit up, those are not luxuries. Those are load-bearing walls. Without them, the empire collapses. And the fact that a 35-year-old NBA player did not understand that, the fact that a man who has spent his entire life around professional athletes with entourages did not understand that, is not Megan Thee Stallion's failure. That is Klay Thompson's failure of imagination. Klay Thompson thought Megan Thee Stallion was a girlfriend. Megan Thee Stallion is a corporation. And corporations have employees. Get used to it or get out. And I want to say one more thing about the LGBT glam team part because this leak tried to sneak something nasty past us, and I am not letting it. The insider made a whole point of saying LGBT friends and LGBT stylists like that was the part you were supposed to roll your eyes at. That little detail was not random. That little detail was bait. That little detail was for a very specific audience that gets nervous when a black woman is surrounded by queer black men. The leak is signaling. She runs with the gays. She doesn't know how to be around a real man. Translation. Klay Thompson, allegedly, felt outnumbered. Klay Thompson, allegedly, felt like an outsider in Megan Thee Stallion's chosen family. And instead of admitting, I could not find my place in her world, the camp pathologized her world. The camp made her world the problem. That is not a personality clash. That is a man trying to drag a woman out of her own ecosystem so that man can feel central again. The second Megan Thee Stallion would not get smaller to make Klay Thompson feel bigger. The leak hit the wire. Now, let me show you the timing, because timing is everything. Megan Thee Stallion has a new song dropping. Megan Thee Stallion's new song, from the snippet that is leaked, talks about how the wifey play is dead. Megan Thee Stallion is, on her own initiative, telling the world that the housewife era is over, that the soft launches, the public appearances, the demure girlfriend cosplay, all of that is in the rearview mirror. Megan Thee Stallion is going back to hot girl mode. Megan Thee Stallion is going back to the music. Megan Thee Stallion is going back to the bag. And the Klay Thompson camp, knowing the song was about to drop, knowing the public was about to hear Megan Thee Stallion's version first, raced to the Daily Mail and dumped their version into the bloodstream 48 hours before the song. That is not a coincidence. That is a counterstrike. That is a publicist seeing the launch calendar and calling in a favor. So, let's get into the unique angle nobody else on YouTube is going to give you tonight. The angle is this. The breakup is the bait. The reputation is the prize. And the only real product on sale here is Klay Thompson 2.0, the I tried, but I'm just too introverted for that life version. The Megan Thee Stallion story is the wrapping paper. Strip the wrapping paper off, and what do you see? You see a man approaching the back nine of his career, a man whose on-court relevance has been quietly evaporating, a man who needs to stay in the cultural conversation, and a man whose camp has discovered that the fastest way to get back into the headlines is to weaponize a black woman who is bigger than you. Klay Thompson did not stumble into the bag, and Klay Thompson did not dodge the bullet either. Klay Thompson used Megan Thee Stallion as a press release. Megan Thee Stallion was the launch pad. Now Klay Thompson is on stage one of the rocket, separating from the booster, and the booster, Megan Thee Stallion, is being told the booster was always defective. Defective.
Loud. Ghetto.
Annoying. Paranoid. That is the booster the leak wants to leave behind, smoking, while Klay Thompson climbs out of the atmosphere wearing a brand new introvert jersey. And listen, I want to be fair because we always come at these stories balanced on this channel. Was Megan Thee Stallion the perfect girlfriend? Probably not. None of us are. Did Megan Thee Stallion talk a lot about Tory Lanez?
Possibly.
Megan Thee Stallion survived a violent crime. Megan Thee Stallion is allowed to talk about it for the rest of Megan Thee Stallion's life and still not have talked about it enough. Did Megan Thee Stallion have a glam team that took up space in Klay Thompson's house? Maybe. That is what being a superstar looks like. Did Megan Thee Stallion's volume, Megan Thee Stallion's Houston accent, make Klay Thompson feel small? Apparently. But you know what a grown man does when a partner makes him feel small? A grown man either gets bigger or gets honest. A grown man does not go cry to the Daily Mail through an insider. A grown man writes a statement with his own name on it. The fact that this leak is anonymous, that it hides behind a source close to, that it is wearing a mask while throwing punches, tells you everything you need to know about who is actually loud, who is actually ghetto, and who is actually messy in this story. It is not Megan Thee Stallion. And here's the part that is going to age the best. Mark my words. 6 months from now, Megan Thee Stallion is going to be back on tour. Megan Thee Stallion is going to have a #1 single. Megan Thee Stallion is going to be on magazine covers. Megan Thee Stallion is going to be hosting award shows or selling out arenas in Tokyo. And Klay Thompson is going to be exactly where Klay Thompson was when this relationship started. On the bench, in a press conference, trying to remind everyone Klay Thompson used to be the splash brother. The loud girl is going to keep eating. The quiet guy is going to keep slipping. And the people in the comments today calling Megan Thee Stallion ghetto are going to be the same people streaming Megan Thee Stallion's new album in 2 weeks, pretending they were always in the front row. So, what is the real lesson tonight? The real lesson is that we, the audience, have to stop letting men launder their failures through anonymous sources. We have to stop reading an insider revealed and treating it like the word of God. We have to start asking who benefits from every leak, who pays for every leak, who is being elevated and who is being buried. Klay Thompson is being elevated. Megan Thee Stallion is being buried. And the gravediggers are wearing press passes. The next time you see a breakup article and one side is described in adjectives a Disney prince would use, and the other side is described with words your grandmother used to whisper about the neighbor down the street, ask yourself who wrote it, who placed it, and who is hoping you will not ask. Because that is how the magic trick works. The hand that points to the loud black woman is the same hand reaching into your pocket. And one more thing before I let y'all go. Some of you are going to say, T-sister, you are defending Megan Thee Stallion because Megan Thee Stallion is a black woman. You would never defend a man like this.
Wrong.
We have called Megan Thee Stallion out on this channel before. We have called Megan Thee Stallion out on the Tory Lanez situation, on the loyalty issues. We do not run protection here. We run analysis. And the analysis tonight is simple. Klay Thompson played the press played Megan Thee Stallion, and the public is being played by both. So tell me what you think in the comments. Tell me if you think this leak was organic, or if it was a planted publicist play. Tell me if you think Megan Thee Stallion needs to clap back, or if Megan Thee Stallion should just let the music do the talking. Tell me if you think Klay Thompson's introvert rebrand is going to work, or if the streets are going to remember this one. And tell me, honestly, if you have ever been the loud one in a relationship with the quiet one, and how that story ended for you, because I have a feeling we are going to have church in the comments tonight. I am going to be live later, reading every single one of y'all replies, and we are going to keep this conversation rolling until the truth comes all the way out. Megan Thee Stallion did not lose Klay Thompson. Megan Thee Stallion lost a costume. Megan Thee Stallion is about to put on the Real outfit. And the people laughing today are going to be the first ones in line to buy the merch.
Trust me on that.
We have seen this exact movie before, and the loud girl always wins the third act. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, stay close. The next chapter is going to be the loudest yet, and I do not want a single one of you to miss it. I will talk to y'all later.
Bye.